Hey, what's up guys? Today I want to show you some tips that help me get from Champ 1 to GrandChamp in just one season. So I've been playing casual since the new season started, just to warm up, get used to my bearings and stuff like that, but everyone I play against seems to ask, how did you get to GrandChamp? And I've been kind of wondering that too, honestly, because I only have around 1,500 hours into the game, and I started Season 4, but somehow managed to get GrandChamp last season. So I compiled some tips and tricks, and it's not really mechanically, because mechanically I'm actually a brick. I'm beyond a brick, mechanically. So it's mainly has to do with mentality, and how to go about every situation, right? So I compiled 6 tips to help the majority of people get a higher rank. I kind of clickbaited a little bit saying GrandChamp, but it's mainly to get a higher rank. So the first tip I'm going to talk about is 50-50s. So most people go into a situation and they just throw their car into it. They don't think about how it's going to happen, how the impact is going to... You know how they say, I don't know, it was like a meme about, about a year ago, how fire burners, everyone would just say, wow, you got a good 50-50, you're fire burner. Right? But Fireburner had a point, right? He went into every 50-50 and he won majority of the 50-50. So all you have to do is figure out how he did it. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been thinking, how do you win 50-50s? And it's pretty simple, actually. You have to just figure out the position of the person, figure out the position of the ball, and depending on what outcome, where you want the ball to go, position your car accordingly. So for example, if the ball is in front of their net, right? And they need to clear it. That's their whole goals. They don't want the ball in their net, obviously, and you just want the ball in their net. But you're going to collide into a 50-50 on goal line, right? So what you want to do is you want to actually put your car in front of the ball and not flip. You just want your car to be a barrier, right? So they're going to boom it into your car, and the ball is either going to go back into their net, or it's going to stop on post line again, which then a teammate can follow up and score it, or they clear it. But that's the best outcome. Is you don't want to flip. You want a position where the ball is in front of their net or the ball is going in their net, right? And the same goes with the vice versa. So if you have the ball in front of your net, right, you don't want to just stop in front of the ball. Obviously, you want to actually clear it. But you have to read the situation. You have to read your opponent to see where he's coming at the ball. You have to see where you can possibly pinch it to get it away from the net and stuff like that. So 50-50s are crucial in 3s, 2s, and even 1s. They're like mandatory. You have to be good at 50-50s and 1s. And now for tip number 2, passing. Passing is like I played from when I went from Champ 1 to GrandChamp. Passing was so crucial for climbing the ranks. Honestly, in Champ 1, no one passes. Everyone's all about the solo plays. Everyone just wants to do their own thing. And then if the ball is just like ends up in front of their net, you just score it. You just literally just tap it in. That's all Champ 1 essentially. Diamond 3 to Champ 1 is. Right? But once you get to GrandChamp, you need those in-field passes to clear it to their end or to even get a shot on net. You need them. They're crucial. And it doesn't have to... Like, passing is different in 2s and 3s. So 2s, you want the in-field passes. In 3s, you want the passes in front of the net, right? Obviously. So you just have to figure out the positioning of your teammates. You have to keep them in mind when you're trying to clear the ball, and then use your teammates to the best of their ability. So even if you shoot the ball at their car, that confusion is alone, just the confusion alone, is going to mess up the defender. So say the ball just gets popped up from that. They're not going to know what to do because they don't see the guy's car, and then the ball's just up in the air. Unless they're more farther back, but that's, but then if they're farther back, then you have control. You know what I mean? Passing is just unbelievably crucial. And this one kind of segues... The third step kind of segues into the last step, which was passing, which is now spread out. People need... in Champ 1 to Diamond 3, people really like ghosting your teammates, which I don't really understand, right? So if you're ghosting your teammates, you can't be ready for anything he does, right? You're just essentially, if you're ghosting him, you're just saying how you don't have faith in him at that point, right? So if your opponent, or if your teammate fails and then you're behind him, that's just you saying you don't have faith in him. So you want to get in front, you want to be spread out from him so he can either pass to you, or if it goes wrong, you can rotate very cleanly to support him. You know what I mean? You don't always need to be behind him, which again, around like Champ 2, that kind of falls off a little bit. People are more spread out, but around Champ 1 and Diamond 3, that's a huge step. You just can't be following your teammates. That's huge in 2s and also 3s. Like, you want to be obviously back in the mid line in 3s, like for the rotation, but you never want to be following him. You always want to be spread out. So tip number 5. This might actually be the biggest tip. The hardest one to master, and the most crucial one, is boost management. So if you notice, there are pads around the inside of the map. Not the big outsides, but there's enough pads in them, in the field, so you can collect boost and you can save and shoot any shot, right? It's never a necessity to go for side boost. Think of like the corner boost and the mid boost as like a treasure. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need it, but if you have it, it's dope. So yeah, boost management is all about understanding the position you're in, so positioning, and on top of that, collecting pads. Pads are just so crucial. Like, if you're rotating back to net, if you go for a side boost when they're about to shoot on net, you're not going to save it. There's no point. But there's the pads of rotations. You can easily just rotate back to net with 36 boost total if you're at 0. And you can get 3 pads from just rotating back to net, which is 36, which you can, with 36 boost, you can save any ball. Literally any ball that goes into the net. You have a possibility of saving it. And 6 is kind of a tip. Is kind of not really a tip, but it kind of is at the same time. I noticed there's a lot of entitlement in Rocket League, and people don't seem to understand. Once you're in Champ 1 to Diamond 3, you're in the top 1% of the world, right? That 1% is not an easy thing to be in, right? We're talking about a very, very small percentile of the population that are in Diamond 3 to Champ 1. A lot of people get entitled. They get mad. They're like, why am I losing? Why? Like, what people don't understand is your opponents want the win just as bad as you do, right? And they're going to do everything in their power to get the win. So you kind of, like, the game is designed so you have to lose games. And the whole point is you just can't get tilted. You can quote, there's a Sylvester Stallone quote that I really like quoting. And it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. You know what I mean? Like, the people that are there are very good. They're there for a reason, right? That's the point. And you just kind of need to brush it off your shoulders, get back on the horse, and just keep trying. It's kind of hard to explain because it's a mentality kind of thing, right? But if you just loosen up, don't care about your rank, just play for fun, just play to win and play for fun, and you'll start ranking up like it's nothing. But yeah, those are my 6 tips. Let me know if you have any more tips that you can leave in the comments to help other people out. I'm going to be shooting for Season 8 GrandChamp again, so subscribe, and I can give you updates and more tutorials on how to do stuff, I guess. And moi moi, yeah.